Everybody knew the end was coming, but no one expected it to be on a sunny Wednesday afternoon in a sleepy village in the east of England. Maybe they knew. Maybe they knew something was going to happen, but even they couldn't have told the extent. Sporadic broadcasts still managed to hit the airwaves from time to time since it had happened. The reporters guessed it had just been a single bomb aimed to destroy an American military facility that had started the whole thing. Apparently there was a volcanic fault line running under Suffolk that was long known about and long ignored until that day. The harmonics of the explosion were perfectly tuned to wreak havoc on the world. And wreak it did. Over the next 3 days the whole world tore itself apart. Mountains had crumbled, cities had fallen, continents shifted. Land fell away into boiling seas. It was hell on earth. Millions died in those 3 days, millions more since. I was alive more by blind luck than any cleverness on my part. Those of us left clung desperately to whatever order we could find to try and make sense of what remained. That's why I was here. And he was there. He tried to take the only thing I had left, strip me of the final remnants of my existence. I wasn't about to let that happen. It's almost comical how you can watch your car, your pride and joy, fall into an open pit of churning lava. Or see your family home burned to the ground seconds after you got out with little more than the clothes on your back. Or you could witness hordes of innocent people dying in unthinkable ways. And yet cope with it. Keep moving on. More determined not to be counted in their number. Driven by some invisible force to survive, no matter what. All these things I'd witnessed with barely a flicker of emotion, yet let one person break the rules and invade the only private space I have left, my backpack. And that's one step too far. Take my home, take my car, even my beloved smartphone, from a life all but long forgotten now. But try to take my waterproof jacket and the photograph of my family, and you open yourself up to a whole world of hurt. I snapped, and now he was paying the price for everything I'd suffered over the last few days. He might have thought I was ripe for the picking, but now he was the one who would pay the price. I grinned at the situation, at what I was doing, knowing I was channeling all my anger into this one act, against this pettiest of petty crimes in a world fallen from grace. It was all out of proportion, but the floodgates were open. I was like an outsider, observing in my own life, and things had to run their course. Logic was but a dark shadow in a deep pool, far away from here. He stood there, tied to the scorched stump, in what had once been a forest park. He was conscious again, probably more conscious than he'd ever been before. The look of terror in his wet eyes was unmistakable. They were the eyes of a man who realises he's bitten off much more than he could ever hope to chew. I stared at the glinting metal in my hand, my pulse racing, but my mind was calm and still, detached. I wondered momentarily whether it had been part of some large machine. Then I realised it didn't really matter. The only thing that was important was that I had it, and it was here, as sharp as a scythe. The sound of his intestines dropping onto the packed earth reminded me of dropping stones into wet mud when I was a child in this very forest park. A relaxed, fixed smile graced my features as warm memories flooded over me. The recollection was so strong as to replace the stench of spilt viscera with the autumnal aromas of damp earth and mouldering leaves. I breathed slowly and deeply, closing my eyes and savouring those sweet smells, the perfume of a life lived long ago. I opened my eyes and banished the ghosts, staring at him under the hood of my brow, the satisfaction I felt watching that indescribable spark leave his eyes. That was a paradox. It thrilled me and it repulsed me all at the same time. It was done. I turned my back on the sagging bag of skin that now hung from the bonds like so much leather stretched over sticks. I picked up my waterproof jacket and the photograph of my family. My things. My things! My things! Don't ever touch my things.